Hi, this is Dr. Frederick. So the question is just an example of showing how the solver changes when you change the data. So let's grab all this and make it a little bit bigger. Now, here's the solver problem that I showed you earlier. And the key is that these values are 0, okay? That you must have them equal to 0. Now, what we have in for all these zeros are actually equations. So if we put 1 here, we realize that what the equation actually says here is take this value, multiply it by this value to get this one, take this one, multiply it by 1 to get this. If we put 2 in, it's going to double these values. So what we put in here is 0. They look like zeros. They're really formulas. All these are formulas. These ones say take this value, multiply it by this. So if we're going to have 10 kilograms of nuts, what's going to be here? I mean, if we're going to have 10 kilograms of the mix, what's going to be here and here is 5 and 5, right? Because it says take this amount and take the mix, get this value. The amount of mix times this is this, and then what? The price is 10 kilograms times $7 per kilogram, or $70. Okay, so if we put 0 here, we get zeros, but it's just a formula. And what solver does is change these values. Now, so if we solve the equation, or solve this setup, I already have it set up here, so we just solve it. Then we get the answer that we had last video, which is it's 102 kilograms of this mix, 84 kilograms of this mix, giving us a revenue of $1,512. Now the next problem is, let's change this to 11. Okay, if we want to solve that, and we put in solver, okay, now it might solve it for you, but see, I wouldn't have done it that way. I didn't actually think it was going to work. That's the correct answer there, as far as I know. We just want to put zeros here and zeros here, okay, before we resolve it. If you don't do that, you can't be sure of exactly what it's doing. So we put zeros here, actual zeros, not formulas. These all stay the formulas. We put $7 and $11 here. Our limitations over here stayed the same, and so if we solve it, okay, so what it's telling us is that we're not going to make any of the first mix. That's not where we make our money. Just think about it. If you charged $1 million for a kilogram of the second, you would never make a $7 mix, okay? You're going to get the $1 million. So here the $11 is enough to say, shut down the first mix line. We're not doing that. We're just making the second mix. We can make more than $1,512, right? So here's the key is set these things to 0 and then resolve. Okay, so we can do it, here. Let's make it make this $12 and resolve. Okay, now we see that it gives us this other answer for how to do it. I think that was actually the first answer, but you can go back and forth. If you change this to 21 now, it might change it. I think I misled you a little bit. The other day I was thinking it would just do it, but now I realize you're just going to put zeros in there and just resolve it. You have your setup. Okay, look here. See, you see how I got the wrong answer a second ago by not resetting them 0. Look, when this thing is $21, that's all we're going to make. Okay, so when you want to resolve something else, make them all zeros. Make these two values zeros again, and then solve based on the data. Okay, so I didn't make that clear, and I'm sorry.